I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike. We started
You know,
recording sooner than we thought we did, so.
I forgot a drink today,
Hmm.
and
You need to run and get it. I could like sing to the people or something. Now that we usually this is around the time people start dropping off anyway. So if I start singing, you know, at
real
least they have a
honest, I
reason
get
to.
up and leave. You're starting to sing. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
shut the whole episode off, or just fast forward, guys. We're gonna get
yeah.
to it
That's it.
shortly, like we always
That's
do.
exactly it.
Um,
Um, so here we are again. It's Tuesday. It's another Tuesday.
another Tuesday. How's your week going? How was your Father's Day?
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful, you were here. It was a wonderful Father's Day. Weather was beautiful. The company was great. It was just a great day.
Do dads like how they always say like moms like want the day off and stuff? Like, um, our dad's like, I always think it's funny because like so many times. Like Adrian was talking about how like when we went to Brandon's after, how Brandon was on the grill and that didn't seem right. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like
No,
dads just like to grill. So
Brandon and I talked about that. Brandon and I talked about that
mhm.
when I was grilling over here.
Mhm.
And he said, no, that's the thing. That's like the dad thing to do is get out on the grill and throw some meat on there. And yeah,
Yeah. Right. Like it
yeah.
might have
Although,
stressed you out more if like us girls were out there like
yeah, if somebody else was at the grill, yeah, it would. It would. That's kind of that's my, no, you know what? Today we were talking about, we were like, oh, we should have done hibachi. That would have been good. Instead of like, burgers and
mm,
chicken and all that, we should have done hibachi. That was, our topic today is not Father's Day grilling, although it should be. Also, why don't fathers and mothers get a week? We should get a whole week,
true.
like
Yeah, I
just,
can't I can't wait till Daughter's Day rolls around.
I know, right?
And then I can really be celebrated how I
Some people would
deserve.
say that every day is Daughter's Day.
True. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
man. So anyways, guys, I'm so low energy today. I am just so sleepy. The weekend just flew past for me, so I just feel very drained.
I know, and for me, it was a 3-day weekend, and it still felt like it. I have this new theory. I prefer the 3-day weekends that are Saturday, Sunday, Monday to the 3-day weekends that are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
Mm.
here's why. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, why? It's still 3 days. What difference does it make? Friday, I'm phoning it in anyway. Like most of my day
Mhm.
Friday, I'm just thinking about it Saturday coming. So
It's
Friday,
usually like a light day and yeah.
yeah, yeah. A lot of companies don't
Mhm.
do meetings. They do meetingless Fridays or that kind of
Mhm.
thing. I kind of have a personal policy of like not scheduling any meetings in the afternoon on Friday because so my idea is you're not going to get anything accomplished because again, people are thinking of the weekend unless it's like something big or emergency or something, obviously. But you make decisions on things on a Friday afternoon, and then the whole weekend goes by, and Monday morning comes, and everybody forgets what decisions you made and what everything
Mhm.
that was discussed. It's just so there's no point in doing that.
True.
So yeah, I think that's it. Where like, when you get a Monday off, then Tuesday is like Monday, and it's
Ah,
just everything feels good. But you know,
I feel
you
that.
get Friday
Yeah,
off,
that makes sense.
it's like you're getting gypped somehow.
I always have Friday off, kind of.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially with summer Fridays too. Like I get summer
Yeah,
Fridays and
what are those? I've never heard of that.
oh man. Anyways, guys, so today we're talking about something that I have been seeing lately and I wanted to get your opinion on. Um, so some people think that lately time is like a little bit different nowadays. And they basically like it's people of all different cultures around the world, different countries, different time zones, all of that. And they are saying that I guess uh, I'm really bad at explaining things. We've learned that on here. But they think that like something is happening on our technology, specifically like our phones and things like that,
Hmm.
where time is purposely going faster. So
Oh.
there was this guy in particular who made this video, and over, I believe it was a 6 month period, he had set his phone. Well, he didn't set his phone. His phone is already set, which is the kicker. Um, and his clock on the wall, his little TikTok clock on the wall, and and his stove and microwave. He had set it all to the same time. It was like, 11:45, almost 46, basically, like same
Right.
time on all of them. And over a 6 month period, there it ended up being that his phone was a total of 7 minutes faster.
Well, oh, that
Mm-hmm.
is odd because generally your phone is set based on like time servers that are connected to, the world clock in wherever that is in Greenwich, I
Oh,
think.
really?
Yeah. So they're
That's a
they're
thing?
based on, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
don't know.
is that why? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I think it's something else. Yeah, I don't know. But and a lot of people are thinking it. Like there was this guy too who had put his phone on airplane mode. I believe it was like in 2011, a while ago, somewhere around there. He had put an iPhone that he had on airplane mode, and um basically over the course of that many years, his phone ended up his phone nowadays is like a certain amount of time faster as well.
Oh.
So people think
So
that something is happening, making time go by quicker
so the only
or
reasonable
slower.
explanation that I could have for that, if that was real, would be that they identified that the rotation of the earth was different than we thought it was, and they adjusted those electronic clocks to allow for it without telling people, so you didn't send people into a panic. But the problem is there are still old analog clocks around that would be showing the other time. But then again, people could just be like, oh, something must be wrong with my clock.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But something weird is happening, and yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on what you think about that.
Yeah, that's now you make me want to do an experiment on that, I think. I don't know. I might have to
Dad,
do.
can we pause right now? I don't know if I see a cockroach or not. Hold
Good
on.
Lord. No, we're leaving this in. We're totally leaving this in.
No, we're not.
So folks, while Alyssa's going to deal with the possible what is going on, Alyssa, the possible life form that's entered her room that may or may not be an alien from
Okay.
outer space.
No, you know what's so embarrassing about it is my light went out and everything went out. Yeah, you just have to cut this. It's not a cockroach. It's not a cockroach. It's my shorts that are sticking halfway out the drawer.
Okay. Well, see, I kind of want to leave this in because I feel like this is podcast gold right here. This may be the thing that makes us go viral finally. So I'm leaving
I've
it
been,
in.
if you saw my eyes wandering, it's
Yeah,
because
I did, and
I'm
I immediately thought of another episode. So
I'm staring at my dresser drawer, and I should send you a picture of it. But it's like my two drawers next to each other, and it's my shorts, and like I guess they're sticking out of the drawer. Wow. Okay,
that's
so
funny.
the
Okay,
way the angle it's at, it looks like a big cockroach. Anyways,
that's funny.
um,
That could be the government trying to freak you out because you're talking about this
because
and you
I'm talking
shouldn't
about
be.
this. No, so yeah, people think that, and it's no secret that like obviously people have also felt like, I don't know about you, but I guess, you know time does kind of feel like it's flying by. Like,
It
I don't know,
does.
we've
It
been saying
does.
that a lot lately where it's
But
like, man, it's January
I always
already.
thought, yeah, I always thought it was just because I was getting older. But I seriously, if that was a thing, like if there was some conspiracy where they were making time on our devices because everybody uses some kind of device for their time now,
Mm-hmm.
run faster. Yeah, I think the reason would be, oh shoot, the rotation of the Earth is speeding up. Well, we can't tell people that because people will go into a panic. So we'll just do this and nobody will notice.
So there was also this like I think it was called stars. I'm gonna get this all wrong and someone's gonna like
Okay.
correct me or whatever, and that's fine. But I think it was called stars, and it was like this computer program from years ago. I think like
Okay.
2016 or somewhere back then. And there was something that happened with it that basically they think affected all the software on the phones, like something in the phones that records time or whatever, and they,
Mm-hmm.
some people associate the time to that
Mm-hmm.
because, again, these are multiple people in multiple different you know regions and cultures and countries and all
Right.
that stuff, all
Right.
having or experiencing the same issue. Like
Right.
the guy who put his phone on airplane mode years ago, like over 10 years ago, and then sees that his phone to current day is way faster than that phone's time. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't live in the
Me,
same area that the guy who was
but
7 minutes different on his, and it was just his phone. Like his phone was the
okay.
only fast thing. The guy with the clock on the wall and set his
Okay, so
microwave and stuff, his phone was the only fast thing.
okay, so here there could be reasonable explanation. So if he puts it off of airplane mode, because when you're on, when you're connected to your cell network, your
Mhm.
phone will get the time from your cell phone network. So,
Mhm.
again, there are servers that communicate. They're actually called time servers. I used to back in the day when I was responsible for computer hardware, we actually had like a time server running that would get it from some I don't even know where it was from, like some government server that, kept the
Mhm.
time and all that so that everything could be synchronized.
Mhm.
And that's what your phone does. Like it gets it from some time server somewhere, um, like on your cell phone network.
Yeah.
But if you went in airplane mode, the thing about these kind of devices is their clocks are based on like the amount of electrical current going through them, and there are things in them to like regulate it so that they can be reliable, right?
Mhm.
But if it's like an old phone and maybe it had some kind of glitch in it and maybe there was
Yeah.
something in the software that got fixed, there could be you
True.
could reasonably have the time on the phone
Because
if
they
it
also
wasn't
stop
synchronizing.
updating.
Yeah. Yeah, you could
Yeah,
reasonably
that's
have the
true.
time just because it didn't get, the time updated, that it drifted off because of some defect in the phone, defect in the hardware, something. I mean, that could
Mhm.
reasonably happen. And now if you're connected to the cell phone networks and your time is like on all your devices that are connected to some sort of a network are faster than every digital clock or analog clock
Mhm.
in your house, that's a different thing. Then
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
What's
something's
happening?
weird here. Yeah, something's weird.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Because I have a different conspiracy theory that's similar just in the name, but much different.
The only thing to me is like, I don't know. I guess like I looked at it like, well, clearly, I don't know what benefit like someone would have to speed up our phone. So there was this guy that did this one study, and he looked up like the amount of time basically faster that like time essentially was going, ended up counting to like, I guess we lost a whole year or something.
See, again, the only way that that could be possible, though, is if the rotation of the Earth had changed. Because, like, if let's
Like
say
over
that,
the course of x amount of years, like,
right,
that
but
guy, he was 7 minutes off after 6 months, within a 6 month
okay,
window. So
right,
basically this guy's saying, okay, so that means like after this many years of like this happening, we will have lost one whole year,
yeah, but the problem with that is
mathematically.
it doesn't happen Like it's not like it's happening all at once, right? It's
Mhm.
happening gradually. So if it's happening gradually, you at some point would get to the point where, well, my clock says it's midnight, but it's dark outside.
Oh,
Or I'm
right.
sorry, my
Yeah.
clock says it's noon, but it's dark
We
outside.
have daylight
You know what I
savings
mean?
then. Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. So, like for that to be true, it would have to involve the rotation of the earth or our rotation around the sun or both changing to the extent that they've had to speed up the clocks to adjust for it. Because
Mm.
because
Okay.
otherwise,
True.
I think it just seems like time is running much faster because everyone today is so busy and or distracted. Like
True.
when you're,
So, yeah, that
how
makes
often
sense.
do you get lost in doom scrolling and you look at
Mhm.
your clock and you go, or your watch and you go, my gosh, it's 5 o'clock. Where'd the day go? Like on a
Mm.
weekend. Like I think that's part of it too. It's a perception that time's moving faster just because people are busy.
So, yeah, so ChatGPT, our favorite
Yeah.
search
Yeah.
engine.
I I saw something pause there a second. I saw something saying that people use the term chat GPT. Actually, no, I spoke to somebody who said this. People use the term chat GPT like people use the term Kleenex to refer to tissues. Like I
Oh
need a
yeah, yeah,
Kleenex,
yeah, yeah.
you
So
know?
like that's my new Google, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So
So go
so
ahead, continue.
so basically I was looking up different like reasons why time might even feel like it's going faster, and a few things kind of make sense. So one of the top ones is that routine compresses your memory. So when the days
Oh,
become similar, the brain stores fewer unique memories, making weeks or months seem to pass quickly in retrospect, which I
wow,
thought
that's
was
an
kind of
interesting
interesting.
one. That's a very interesting one. It makes sense
It
too. That
makes
makes a lot of
sense
sense. Yeah.
because there's nothing, obviously
Yeah.
if I'm waking up, if every single morning or even like 5 days a week, right? I'm
Right.
waking up in the morning at the same time, going to the gym, coming
Right.
back,
Right.
working,
Right.
making dinner, cleaning, folding laundry, whatever, going to bed. Like that's so many people's lives day in and day out that yeah, I mean it kind of does of course we're looking at it like, "Whew, Thursday already."
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Right.
So, like there's not really much for my brain to store. If anything my
Yeah.
brain is saying like, "Here we
Yeah,
go again.
it's
Where's
like the way
Saturday?"
it's like it's probably much more complex than this now, but years ago when I learned about the way video works on computers is, it's a bunch of images, right? It's just a bunch of images. This video right here is a bunch
Mhm.
of images being
Mhm.
taken and displayed in rapid sequence. But the
Mhm.
way that they make the files smaller and they make
Mhm.
it able to be compressed is what it actually saves is the difference between those images. So in an image
Mhm.
like this, where most of this image is the same, right? Like
Mhm.
the only part that's changing right now is my mouth and my hands.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's the same thing you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
just you just remember the things that are different, not the things that are what happens every time. It's like you get behind the wheel of a
Mhm.
car to go somewhere that you go all the time, and you get there and you don't remember driving there. Do you ever have that
Yeah.
experience? It's the same
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That idea definitely makes a lot of sense as an explanation.
Mhm. Another one is that aging changes time perception. So each year becomes a smaller fraction of your total life experience, which can make time feel as though it is accelerating.
Yeah. That one I can tell you, well, I see that's the problem is though with the perception is time getting faster or is it because I'm getting older, right? Because when you're a kid, like I always think of when I was a kid and I was in
Mhm.
school and the amount of time between the beginning of the school year and Christmas break
Mhm.
felt like forever. And now the amount of time between September and the end of December, don't blink. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
And
True.
is it because somebody's speeding up the clocks, or is it just because I'm older and you know I forget things? I don't know.
Um, So this one kind of has something to do with like what you were saying. So technology and constant stimulation, continuous scrolling, notifications, and rapid information consumption can create a sense of time disappearing.
Yep. Yep.
So
That's definitely part of it.
I
That
guess
is definitely part of
kind
it.
of think of like, it's the weekend and you wake up and, I've done it sometimes on like a lazy weekend morning, like you just sit in bed and like you said, just doom scroll in bed and next thing you know, you're like, what? It's already 11 o'clock, noon,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Guess I got to start doing
God, I have
actual
like
stuff now.
3 recipes I want to make today
Yeah.
that I just found and like 2 different
Yeah.
crafts.
Right.
Um, So, man, side note, like, have you ever seen like a craft? Because I tried to do that like what is it? It's like the like clay. It's like this clay, and then you bake
Mhm.
it. I actually made a cute little rubber duck out of it, but I bought it because I was like, oh, this would be a cute little task for like the kids to
Yeah.
do. I ended
Yeah.
up doing it as well, but definitely not as easy as like those videos make it seem. Like I've
Oh
watched
no.
so many videos and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so easy." Like I just roll it into a circle and then like,
Yeah.
pinch the top a little bit and form the little feet. No way.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's so
it's
hard.
like all these modern day Bob Rosses that I see on TikTok that are doing like painting videos
Yeah.
or Instagram too. I see him, and every time I look at him, like, man, I should
I
go
could
get some
do that.
paint. I could do that.
Yeah. And then
And I used to paint, right? But
mhm.
your Uncle Jimmy used to always say like my paintings looked like the version of the painting reflected in water for some reason. Like little bit like not quite you're like a
I
little blurry,
know.
like yeah.
I
So
tried that the other day. We got a bunch of canvases and like everyone was painting their thing and I was like, "Oh, I found this cute little photo." And I kind of, I got it like to look kind of like the photo I found on Instagram. Like if you held it far away and like squinted your eyes, it kind of looks like it. But
yeah.
like don't look up close because my grass does not look like their grass,
Yeah, yeah. My problem when I do that kind of stuff is like I have a vision of it in my head, and if it doesn't turn out exactly like the vision in my head, then I'm gonna spend hours like messing with it, and then I'm gonna mess it up so badly because I'm gonna keep tweaking it to the point where it's like, well, now it doesn't look like anything.
But
That's my
also,
problem.
I think you have to remember too, like these people that are painting on these videos, clearly like it's sped up, right? Like,
Well,
this
yeah. Oh
this
no, I've seen some where they're doing it live, where
well,
they're painting live.
I'm just
So,
saying like at least the painting that I was doing, I underestimated like the layering aspect of it.
mm,
Like
right.
I'm gonna paint the sky, and then they paint the grass, and then I gotta paint like this, and then now the colors are blending. So now my purple
Right.
has some green in it, and now this is just
Right.
all messed up. Now I need to let. I don't have a blow dryer like to for
You
use
also
for
got to make
painting.
sure you got to make sure you're using the same kind of paint that they are because like acrylic paints and oil paints are much different in how they dry.
I know. I was like setting it under the ceiling fan just to dry it out. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
this isn't working how I wanted it to work, but
Yeah. So, hey, did you have fun?
yeah, I had a
Did you
great
have
time.
fun doing it?
Yeah,
That's
for
what it's
sure.
all about.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
really what it's all
I was
about.
about
Yeah.
to be like, wow, we just need to start finger painting, guys. Just,
That would be
make
fun.
a reindeer out of your hand or whatever. It was like when we did
Yeah.
the sweaters, and
That
everyone's sitting
that
there like with mom's blow dryer, like, wait a minute.
yeah. But
This
that was a really fun activity.
that was.
I enjoyed the heck out of that activity.
Mhm.
That was a good
That was
one.
fun.
We should have videoed that one and made a series out of that. So so
Um.
speaking of time theories,
Mhm.
while we were talking about this, I was looking for some other like weird theories like that. There's one called the phantom time hypothesis, and this one's crazy.
Okay.
It's the theory claims that approximately 297 years of history from 614 AD to 911 AD never happened and were fabricated by medieval rulers. According to the people who think this is a thing, Charlemagne may have never existed. Historians inserted centuries into the calendar, meaning that there's time in there that like didn't exist. like literally time. So so based on this theory, we're actually living in the 1700s, not the 2000s.
What?
My problem with this is how do you disprove this? There was because there was
That's what they
something.
thought when they added all those fake times. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
prove
If you
it,
can't prove
prove
it's wrong,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
this
So
didn't
and
exist. You
and it was
can't.
funny because there was a video I saw, I think it was on Instagram, and the
Mhm.
guy was it was something talking about it was like it was a Christian, speaker talking about the evidence, around Jesus and that.
Mhm.
And he talked about the number of people who like the books the books of the New Testament were mostly written by people who either were directly knew Jesus or um were people who were like followers of people who knew Jesus, the
Mhm.
most of the books of the New Testament. And he
Right.
was talking about the number of accountings in all of those different completely differently written books that match up,
Mhm.
the stories match up time wise and all that.
Mhm.
And then over the time frame that they were all written too, because they were written over, I think, a course of like maybe a couple hundred years. um and his point was that that those prove like the not only like the existence that Jesus existed, which I don't think there's many people that say he didn't exist, but also that what Christians believe actually happened based on those accountings. And
Mhm.
he was saying that um the like he was using Alexander the Great, I think it was, and I could be wrong, but I think it was Alexander the Great. He said Alexander the Great, the only yeah, the only accounting of his existence, I think it's two different writings that were written, or two different books that were written like several hundred years after he supposedly existed. And he said there's nobody that questions the existence of Alexander the Great, you know,
True.
based on the like time frame of those books, even though like with this whole thing, like it's possible he didn't exist and somebody just made it up, because we don't really have a way to know other
Or
than
any proof or
what was
anything.
written. It is kind of, now this is one that that I have to look into, because I'm like, hold on a second, is this possibly
Kind
true?
of like, did you hear about how about like people thinking that, obviously back when the pyramids and stuff were being built, that there were actually giants,
Funny you
and
should mention that.
like they say that there were giants and they have a bunch of proof of it, including just the fact of like the pyramids being made in general, and how like there's just
Yeah,
no possible way that a regular like
yeah, the
st-
stones themselves were so heavy.
yeah, that like even if they got, 10 men to like there's just no way that they could have like
Yeah.
built
The
that
other theory
without.
on that is that we had help from space aliens, or that
Oh,
well,
I've
I
heard
wasn't
that
there,
before, yeah,
that the
too.
Egyptians had help from space aliens. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because another one that came up for me
Mhm.
was that the Smithsonian destroyed giant skeleton evidence. It says the persistent theory claims that giant human skeletons were discovered across North America. The museum hid the evidence because it contradicted accepted history. And
Mm.
there are real newspaper reports from the 1800s describing giant skeleton discoveries. So the problem is most
Crazy.
were never verified. Many reports were likely exaggerations or hoaxes.
And that, yeah, that was like such a
So,
different time too.
but it does really
Kind of
make you
crazy.
realize like how much of the like that historic stuff though is just, it's just like what was written down. I mean, that's why,
Or
like,
just like a
again, going,
fabricated story.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like going back to the biblical stuff, like why that's, why we still accept that like thousands of years later, is because there were
Mhm.
so many accountings of it that you go, okay, well, that must have happened. But for other things where it's like, you know, there's only like a few things that wrote about it, or whatever, or they're all, compressed into a very short, a very small area, and small amount of accountings of it, you go, wait, did that really you know what I mean? It really makes you
Mhm.
wonder,
Yeah.
and we'll never know. Like how time machine would be the only way to know.
Yeah, like there was that thing I saw recently and it was saying that I think it was proven that we are not from Earth. Like I don't know, it said that like we actually are from space, basically. Like the first people on Earth like came from space, and I don't know, I don't have all the facts to that story right now. I wasn't prepared for that
Yeah,
part for that,
yeah,
but yeah, it was like recently proven. But
yeah,
all of that, it was such a different time that it's like you said, yeah, they could have shown up and wrote down anything. Like all we really have right now is science, and it's kind of like we talk about on True Crime Thursdays on if there's no evidence to study, you know,
yeah. It's
you
just a
have
guess.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just going
And
by.
then it makes you wonder, like, how many things happened that there's just no accounting of. That,
Mhm.
there's no one who wrote it down, or anything like that, so we just don't know about it. Like, there could
Right.
be major things that happened, and because there was, today, everything that's happening, right? There's
Mhm.
somebody with a cell phone camera there who is, you know, recording evidence of it. Right now, the problem today is because of AI. There's also a lot of stuff that can be generated that's fake, so you can
Mhm.
have things that didn't happen that look like they did. But you think back over the course of the, I don't know, 2000 or whatever years that we've been here.
Mhm.
um you know like, how many things have happened that we just don't even know about.
Or you just even look at like how fabricated some stories in the media are, like even to this day where there is, like you said, so much proof to, so many or not even just proof, but like so many ways to disprove a lot of these fabricated stories that come out in the media. But
Right,
regardless, look at how many stories the media does fabricate and make up and try to sway your opinion on and things like that.
right,
I
right.
think that they've probably always been doing that. It just comes down to back then there was nobody. If if you're us and you're reading a story from, I don't know, 100 plus years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just
Like, how do you
believing what
know?
I read. I mean,
Right,
look at how many
right.
things already have been kind of proven in history books, like actual history books that you were reading in school, and how many things that have come out even within the last 10 years of they didn't tell the full story on that, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
"Oh,
Exactly.
okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know that much about history really because I just know the little mild information, that the watered down stuff that they give you in school, and
Yeah.
then it
Yeah,
takes years later for them to come out and be like,
I think
"Actually, this also happened."
they got to come up with a time machine so that we can, like, find out, like, what really happened. I think they got to do that. Somebody has to figure that out.
And then just what,
Some
take like volunteers to go back or
Yeah, just to go back and then start writing, taking pictures. Taking Have you one have you I've seen a bunch of these ones now too. Like, there have been different things over the years, conspiracy things of, like, time travelers, people who claim to
Mhm.
be time travelers from the future
Mhm.
that, come back and talk about all this stuff that's going to happen. Most of the time, none of it is true. So,
Yeah.
they weren't a time traveler. But now with AI, there's so many things of, like, people saying, this guy says he's a time traveler and he sent video of him being on the Titanic, and, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I miss the days where if you looked at something like that, you'd go, it's got to be real. Because I don't, anything I see now, like, you know, on our Marvel Mondays things, there's all these, different clips that have come out about from the Doomsday, from Avengers Doomsday,
Mhm.
and like, half of them are fake or
Oh
AI
yeah.
enhanced things. And, it's just like, you know, you can't you really people used to say you can't believe everything you see. I
Mhm.
feel like now most of what you see you can't believe because like the AI is getting it's just getting better every day, and it's
People
crazy.
are like doing AI photos of like them with celebrities, and they're pretty. Some of
Yeah.
them are pretty good ones.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's so easy. Like, I mean, look at some of the things that I've done where I've been like that picture I sent of our somebody one of the people in our family chat sent a picture of I think it was well, anyway, one of the people in our family chat sent a picture of the back of a car that had an
Oh yeah.
advertisement for somebody's podcast on it.
Mhm.
And I jokingly asked our friend ChatGPT to actually I think it was Gemini. To generate an image of my car with the A&M podcast logo and a QR code on the back of it. And I said, "Yep, thinking of getting this."
Mhm.
And yeah, it took seconds, and it looked relatively real, except for the road names because they were
Yeah, that
just
was
weird.
all. That was all off. I
Yeah.
mean, there was this one. There's this one girl I watched on YouTube, and her parents speak they speak Farsi, and
Okay.
she said that her mom called her one day, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I just saw this video of Cristiano Ronaldo, and he speaks Farsi." And she sends her the video, and she's like, "Mom, that's AI.
Oh no,
That's AI. He doesn't actually
that's
probably
crazy.
speak Farsi at all. He speaks Spanish, I'm pretty sure, and like maybe
That's
some
funny.
English, and that's probably it.
Yeah. Oh,
That
it's
video
like
is totally AI."
some of the ones some of the ones that I see now with there was one I saw today with 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 President Trump, and it was him going through like I think it was like different Marvel movies and it was just an Endgame, and he's just going through and like changing everything in Endgame. It's hilarious. And then I've seen ones of Christopher Reeve's
That's funny.
Superman ruining all these movies. Like he goes into ET and knocks Elliot off the bike and rides the bike with ET instead, and it's just crazy
Adrian
what
was
people are doing.
laughing the other night when we were over and you guys were watching the news. He was like, "Man, watching the news with your dad and Jason is so funny." And he said that like whatever news station y'all had on, he was like it was just showing the most random news stories.
Yeah,
And
no,
he
that
said
was the
like
one.
they had a random clip of like Trump, and it
Yeah,
was him, and I guess
yeah,
he
that.
was like gifted a jet or a plane or
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah,
And he said
yeah,
that the clip that they just like ended up showing of Trump was like, "I got this new plane. I would have preferred for it to be blue, but."
yeah, 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 yeah,
And he's like, "Why would you choose that clip? Like out of
yeah,
all of them
yeah. No, the other one was there's the whole
what?
thing with the reflecting pool, with
Yeah.
the Washington Monument reflecting pole, and
Mhm.
they showed the guy who's like the owns the company or whatever that did the redo of the reflecting pole, and he looks like I think Adrian said he looked like the Penguin from Batman. He looked
Oh,
he
that's the guy you were
legitimately looked
talking
like a
about.
comic book villain. He kind of did. He kind of looked like
Yeah.
a comic book villain. Talking about conspiracy theories, what there is, because that's the whole problem with it being green. There are some things that I've read online that say that it's been being sabotaged, which in normal times I would be like, who's going to bother with that kind of stuff? But we're not in normal times, so I was like, that's actually a real possibility that somebody would go and say, we're going to make it green.
Just cause like
Just
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 try and be funny. Yeah.
well, no, because they want to make things look bad. I don't know. We're living in crazy times. So any of these conspiracy theories may turn out to be true. Is the bottom line.
Yeah. Yep. So I
So
love a good conspiracy theory myself, but
yeah, me too.
some of them really get me sometimes, almost.
Yeah. So how long was this episode on your end? Just making
39,
sure we're well,
39.
over here it says 52. Dun dun dun.
Probably cause
No,
you,
it's that's I'm
uh,
uh
oh, I
this
get
see this is why
it.
I drink.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it would like work with computers or not. I don't know if computers would work the same way, but it has gotten me like looking at my phone like, wait, my microwave is a minute off from my phone. I'll check back in 6 months, y'all.
Well, did you fix it?
No, I haven't touched it. I'm waiting for 6 months
Well, if you
to
don't
see if
fix it,
it's
you're gonna look you're gonna come back and you're gonna go, aha, it's still off by a minute. Like you got to sync
no.
it up and then check it.
No, I
And
did sync it
computer.
up. No, I did sync it
Oh,
up.
okay.
And then like a while ago, like I don't even know how long.
Okay.
And yeah, one time it did match my phone and it's a minute off.
Okay.
But see, like, what's crazy is that, like, I guess I'm just the kind of person, maybe I'm just too oblivious, but I see that and, like, I've noticed that my microwave is, like, off from my phone. Like, it eventually just,
Right.
like, falls behind or whatever. But me, the kind of person I am, I'd be like, gosh, stupid microwave. Like, why is it so slow?
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
and I
Gosh,
would just, like,
now
change
it's
it.
5 minutes off. Something's wrong with that microwave.
Yeah, I would never think like, be in the space of like, some conspiracy. The government has my phone and they're trying to speed time up, and that's why millennials look so young. Like,
I'm not really as old as they keep telling me I am.
yeah.
Aha.
I would never think that. I would just blame the stove
You
and
know what it
microwave.
is? You know what it is? Did you ever see the movie The Truman Show?
Mm, I've heard of it, but no, I've never really
So
watched it.
it's a Jim Carrey movie, and
Mm,
basically the idea is that he's it's kind of like it came out like a long time ago, like I think probably before reality TV was a big thing, and it's basically like he's a guy who's since he was a child has been living in this world that was just completely made up. It's like a TV
mhm.
studio that he lives in, but he thinks it's like his home and his town and all that.
Mhm.
And everything that goes on in his life is broadcast on, on TV. It
Mm,
was back then. Today it would be like over the internet. So that could be it too. We're all just living in the Truman Show. None
we
of this
are.
is real. It's all
Yeah.
just a TV studio and we think it's life.
This is scripted, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not scripted. See, that's the thing. But we think it's real. Except that's the thing is he's the only one who's not an actor in the movie. Like he's the only one who
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
know that
Who
it's a
doesn't know
TV
that it's a
show.
TV show?
So at some point, it's not to give the whole spoiler alert, but
It's old
at some
enough.
point, the guy who plays his dad is like fired or whatever. So his dad just disappears in it. And the way he find part of I vaguely remember it anyway. I'm probably getting part of it wrong, but the way he finds out that he's living in a TV show is his dad shows up and tells him like none of this is real. The guy who was his dad shows up
Mhm.
to tell him none of it's real. Something like that. I'm
Sounds
like I said, I'm probably
interesting.
yeah.
Should
Find it and
watch
watch it.
it.
It is a good movie. It is a
Yeah.
good movie.
That sounds like my kind of vibe.
So yeah. So all right.
Anyways,
Well, if time feels like it's running fast, it's just because you've been listening to our podcast.
and you know what? We will see you so soon again on Thursday.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.